Donald Trump and Mark Robinson are two peas in a pod. They both staunchly support the most malice abortion bans, with zero exceptions for the most extreme cases, like rape, incest, or even if the mother's life is on the line.
For me, there is no compromise on abortion. It makes no difference to me why or how that child ended up in that womb.
For 54 years, they were trying to get Roe v. Wade terminated, and I did it. And I'm proud to have done it. We did something that was a miracle.
They're both vile and cruel extremists.
CNN says include Robinson referring to himself as a black Nazi and expressing support for reinstating slavery. Writing, "Slavery is not bad. Some people need to be slaves. I wish they would bring it back. I would certainly buy a few." CNN also reporting Robinson, who publicly supports a 6-week ban on abortion with exceptions, wrote that he did not care if a celebrity got an abortion, writing, quote, "I don't care, I just want to see the sex tape."
When discussing then-President Barack Obama in 2012, writing, quote, "I'd take Hitler over any of the shit that's in Washington right now." That he liked, quote, "watching transgender porn," adding, quote, "that's effing hot," and called himself a, quote, "perv."
Robinson also posted comments about peeping in a gym to watch girls shower.
Anything sound familiar? Notice the compatibility?
And by his own admission, he was no stranger backstage while owning parts of 3 different pageants for nearly 2 decades.
You know, they're standing there with no clue. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
In 2001, Tasha Dixon was Miss Arizona, competing in the Miss USA pageant. She experienced this kind of awkward moment firsthand.
Our first introduction to him was when we were at the dress rehearsal and half naked changing into our bikinis.
Dixon was 18 at the time and says watching Trump storm into a dressing room was shocking.
To have the owner come waltzing in when we're naked or half naked in a very physically vulnerable position, and then to have the pressure of the people that work for him telling us to go fawn all over him, go walk up to him, talk to him, get his attention. Who do you complain to? He owns the pageant. So there's no one to complain to. Everyone there works for him.
In 2005, 4 years later, Donald Trump bragged to Howard Stern about what he could get away with since he owned the pageants. The conversation uncovered by CNN's K-File.
I'll go backstage before a show. Yes. And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it.
You're like
everything is good.
So what does Trump have to say specifically about his loyal companion and comparable soulmate, Mark Robinson?
I think one of the hottest politicians in the United States of America, and has become a friend of mine, Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. This is Martin Luther King on steroids, okay? Now, I told that to Mark. I said, I think you're better than Martin Luther King. I think you are Martin Luther King times 2.
He also disparaged, as you mentioned, civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr., using a slur to refer to him and calling him a, quote, commie bastard. All those comments and others made on the message board of a porn website.
And I think he's going to be the next governor of North Carolina. Mark Robinson said to this man, and when he endorsed me, he gave a speech, and I said, "You are Dr. Martin Luther King on steroids. That's how good you are. You are unbelievable."
But in fact, he's so bad, Martin Luther King Jr.'s own son came out and publicly condemned him.
I absolutely want to go back to the America where women couldn't vote.
Extreme Donald Trump and Mark Robinson. They're inseparable and dangerous for North Carolina.